What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to my mini homestead series. Here is a view of our garden about mid-harvest. This year we decided to do raised garden beds, and I'm going to show you how we did that. So we started off by excavating the grass that we had. If you see that fenced in area, that's what we were working with for the last few years, but we decided to expand. Being that we were going to use garden beds, we needed more space because we're working with smaller area. So this is us working together, tag teaming, as we use a hoe to remove all of the dirt and grass. Now my husband is opening up that fence line, taking that cement sticks out of the ground, fence posts out of the ground. And for those of you who don't know, I also have chickens. They were baby chickens at this time, so I'm slowly introducing them to the outside, letting them get some fresh air, and while I am cleaning their pen. If you guys would like to see how big the chickens are now, how many eggs we're getting from them, then stay tuned. That will be in the series later on. Now we're using a metal rake to level out the garden, making it even as possible, so that way our garden beds can be placed on the new space as evenly as possible. And then we're going to be setting up a weed protector. I got this off of Amazon. By the way, everything that we use will be linked in the description box. Most of the things we got from Amazon or Wayfair. But this has good reviews. It did a good job to protect mostly from the weeds that could creep up, just to try to keep that area clean. It did come up on the side a little bit, as you'll see later on, but it did its job for the most part. So here's what we're working with. That is the area. So now we're going in and staining our garden beds. I got two types of garden beds. The bigger set that you're going to see later on came from Wayfair, and the smaller set came from Walmart. Even though the bigger set is more expensive, if I could do it over again, I would definitely go with two bigger sets versus that smaller set, just because the smaller one was a lot more flimsy and it bowed out, and I hated it. I hated how one of the sides bowed out, but you know, we work with what we have. And you know, I was thanking my family for helping me, but to just get out my way, because now I'm brainstorming. I visualized what I wanted, and I wanted to try to use both sets and make them come together somehow. So it took some brainstorming, but I was able to create like a walk through at first, but then I was just like, you know, that's too many pieces that I'm leaving available, so let's try to connect it. When I tried to connect it, I was like, no, that's not gonna work. So I took that back down, made the first one, the big one, like it's supposed to, and then the smaller one, I was able to make the ends to create the arches, and then I just connected the middle part, and that came together perfectly. So the next thing we did is made our version of what they called a horticulture garden setup. Is when you take sticks, then you top them off with cardboard, then you place sticks on top of that before you put your manure in and topsoil. So right now that's what we're doing. We cut out the weed at the bottom of it. Then we took some cardboard, wet the cardboard, put some leftover blueberry branches that we just had in the yard and dried sticks, and then we put some manure, and then top that off with topsoil. I also want to thank my neighbors for being such a big help. This was a big project, not only expensive, but it was a huge project and took longer than we thought. But for those of you who don't know, I am one of those ones that when I start something, I like to finish it. So we were working all day to get this done. Here is us topping off the last little bit of dirt. Just the FYI, if you have a landscaping company near you, do that to get the manure and compost versus getting bags. We saved hundreds of dollars. All the dirt that we had only cost us $100 versus spending, I think, quoted $700 or $800 to fill in the deep garden beds that we had. And the most expensive thing was probably the topsoil, just because we couldn't get that in bulk. But yeah, it worked out really well. This is what we have. And so guys, if you want to stay around for part 2, you can click on the next video and see what we planted. So come and plant with me. Until next time, bye.